Hi Pisces, welcome to your channeled messages for January 2020. I'm going to be placing oracle cards here while I channel so that you guys have a visual focus point, something that you can look at for the pictures, the symbols, what they mean to you. This way you can pull some personal messages for yourself during the general reading. You will hear bells as I use bells while I channel. I'm going to step aside and let the archangels and spirit come in and do the talking with the messages for you. So those of you that you watch my weekly videos, I might sound a little different. I might talk a little differently or speak a little differently. I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just that the voice changes or the speaking mannerism changes when someone channels. So that's what you may be hearing if it sounds different to you than what you're used to. So I'm going to step aside and let the archangels come through. Let spirit come through for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. For Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, messages for January 2020. Pisces, you have been a basket case, some of you, as it were. You've been beside yourself with nerves and emotions. You have been placing so much pressure on yourself to hurry up and get it done, to hurry up and get it right, to be enough, to be liked, to be accepted, to be worthy, to be the kind of person that other people like to have around. And you do not realize so much of this pressure has been programmed in your mind from a very young age. You are still walking around with the voice in your head of the critical caretaker, where you have not performed to task, where you have not been acceptable in some way, where you are meant to do better or to do more. And you are being asked to see at this time the people in your life that are repeating this belief back to you, the people that are continuing this kind of pressure, and you are going to be able to break out of this negative record that plays in your head when you are able to notice who and what around you seems to reinforce it. Not all who are providing encouragement are truly providing encouragement, and it will be a time in which, Pisces, you will realize what you've been taking as encouragement is really simply quite just criticism. And there is positive criticism and there is negative criticism, and you will learn to know the difference. You will learn to understand the importance of surrounding yourself with individuals, with people who can be encouraging, who can be constructive, who can be uplifting and upbuilding. You will find ways in which you have been mimicking back to others criticism that has not been uplifting or upbuilding. You will find encouraging yourself through accomplishments, no matter how small they may seem or appear, and you will find yourself being more encouraging of the accomplishments of others, no matter how small they may appear. And it will be in this way that you are opening doors for more positivity in your life. It will be in this way that you will attract kinder individuals into your earthly experience at this time. So much of your decision-making process, Pisces, up until now has been based on fear that you have accumulated over the past through the examples that you had in the adults that were in your life, the authority figures that were in your life. You are going to begin to learn to operate from a place of love and not from a place of fear. You are going to begin to operate from a place of creating constructive energy and not a place of fear, not a place of running, not a place of hiding, not a place of jumping through hoops, as it were. We ask that you allow yourself to pay attention to the way that you feel after speaking with certain individuals, the way that you feel when you see certain individuals reaching out to you. You see their name or their phone number on your phones or on your screens or in your email. When you find yourself cringing, when you find yourself frustrated, when you find yourself saying to yourself, here we go again, these are the individuals from whom you must begin to distance yourself, or shorten the length of interaction as much as possible, as much as necessary, and allow yourself to be in the activities that you enjoy. Allow yourself to be in the activities that bring you happiness, that bring you a sense of zen. And it will be through this approach that you will also begin to find more encouraging, higher vibrational, like-minded individuals who will be supportive and who will be outside of this fear energy. Pisces, nothing can improve without it being acknowledged, without it being accepted, without it being seen for what it is. Otherwise, we are in denial. When one is not in acceptance, they are in denial. And we are asking for you to be in the energy of acceptance, accepting what is, accepting the circumstances that are. Pisces, this is a time many of you will be breaking out of codependent energies. Many of you will be breaking out of unrealistic expectations, and you will begin by seeing the unrealistic expectations you have placed upon yourself, and you will learn to be more accepting of yourself and who you are and how you came to be where you are, and you will learn to be more accepting of others. Pisces, it is not your job to fix and repair everything. It is not your job to change everyone and everything. Your partner is not a reflection of your worth or worthiness or attractiveness. Your friends are not a representation of who you are in terms of worthiness or worth. You do not need to improve others around you. You do not need to sculpt or mold them, nor do you need to sculpt or mold yourself. This is the time to be in acceptance of who you are, how you are, the way you are, and be acceptance of others, how they are, who they are, the way they are. And when we ask and encourage you to be in acceptance of others, we do not mean for you to accept inappropriate toxic behaviors. We would never encourage anyone to experience inappropriate toxic treatment. However, we ask that you realize people are the way that they are. They are not going to change until they have their awakening, until they are ready to change. And you cannot wake anyone up. You cannot shift or shape or mold them. Each person must shift and shape and mold themselves. You must be in acceptance that a situation or person will not change until they decide that they wish to change, until they take that task upon themselves. In the meantime, it is up to you to determine what is tolerable. It is up to you to determine what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. It is up to you to accept that that will not change and to distance yourself accordingly. Pisces, it is time for adjustments. You will be redirected in the coming months. Many positive, wonderful things will come your way, and certain things will not go to plan. We ask that you understand and realize that not all things go according to plan. There is no such thing as perfection, and the adjustments that are being made at this time by the universe, by your guardian angels, are being made for your best and highest good, for your best and highest interest. This is to bring about better results. So we ask that you be patient. We ask that you keep an open mind, and we ask that you allow yourself to go with the flow of the changes that are approaching. We ask that you come out of that rigid energy, that black and white energy, that this must be this way and that must be that way energy, and be open to changes, be open to the shifting energy, for this is how you will grow. This is how you will encounter abundance. This is how things will begin to shift and change and bring about better experiences. We also ask that you pay attention to the relationship that you have with yourself, the way in which you are operating yourself, and we ask that you allow us to assist you in finding easier ways of doing things. finding ways that bring you about a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment, without having to run yourself ragged, without having to burn the candle at both ends, as it were, a popular expression that some of you may have been familiar with prior to this message. But we ask that you come into this energy of being willing to do things a different way. When you do something in a rigidness, you do not allow for flow. You do not allow for change. You do not allow for growth. We wish you to have change. We wish you to have growth. We wish you to receive and to be in abundance. And we ask that you be open to allowing us to show you easier ways of completing tasks. We ask that you pay attention to the relationship that you have with yourself and the way that you are pushing yourself. We ask that you allow yourself to find less strenuous ways of doing things and to take breaks, to do things that give you happiness, not to deprive yourself, Pisces, to come out of this all or nothing thinking. We ask that you modify. And we ask that you seek and search for ways that you can modify the way that you are treating yourself, your expectations. We ask that you not push yourself so hard and be so critical of yourself at this time. Pisces, this will be a time of escaping mental limiting beliefs. This will be a time of breaking out of limiting mental patterns that have kept you stuck and stagnant, that have kept you feeling unworthy, that have left you feeling incapable of change. You are going to break out of those limiting beliefs. You are going to break out of those false beliefs, but it is going to require that you be consistent. It is going to require that you be paying attention to your thought process. Pay attention to the way you are speaking to yourself, about yourself in your mind. And as you catch these limited beliefs, as you catch these false beliefs, as you catch these negative self-judgments, be aware of them and say to yourself that this is a thought you will no longer continue, and replace it with the positive thought and make this a repetition. Repeat this positive thought to yourself frequently. Say it out loud. This is a time of affirmation. This is a time of repeating. This is a time of repetition for you to reprogram, restructure the way that you are speaking to yourself, restructure the things that you believe about yourself. It will not happen overnight. It will not happen in a day or two. You are reprogramming your whole way of thinking, and you will do so through mental repetition. This means you must make time. You must make time to speak to yourself the way you wish to speak to yourself. The way that you are going to do so, you are going to make time to give yourself these regular, frequent, consistent mental pep talks. You are going to speak to yourself the way you would speak to a trusted friend, the way that you would speak to a cherished and loved friend. You are going to speak to yourself and encourage yourself the way that one would to a prize fighter in a boxing match, as it were. You are going to encourage yourself. You are going to give yourself these pep talks. You are going to remind yourself of your strength, your skill, your ability, your greatness, your intelligence, your talents, your virtues, your beauty. You are going to repeat this to yourself time and time again until you remember it, until it becomes automatic, until it becomes second nature.